I'm Mark Robertson, back with you on my site, Carrying Lawn Chairs. It's named after my book, Carrying Lawn Chairs, Youth Sports, and Other Parental Mindsets. As I mention each time, the book is divided into two parts. Now, the first part deals with all the problems I have with organized youth sports. This is very probably controversial, but I'm against organized youth sports for kids 12 and under. The dirty little secret is they aren't having fun. It's all about the parents. They're treating kids as little adults. They put them in uniforms on a baseball field, just like the major leagues. They aren't having fun. As I've mentioned each time, Yogi Berra said he would much rather have a young man who played pickup baseball on his team than someone who played organized sports. A young kid playing pickup ball could bat 40 times a day, whereas in organized sports, it's only maybe 3 or 4 times. So I'm at 4 kids playing pickup games, and then the parents and the adults can play too. They'd be having fun, and let them play. That's where they learn. That's where they have fun. That's where they learn how to compete. That's where they learn how to improve. It's not in organized youth sports. It seems that all these organized youth sports, the adults are all about these kids learning how to do things properly, how to swing level. That's what T-ball is all about. You put a ball on a tee, and they'll learn to swing level. It's all about the future. It's not about having fun in the present. So you got a T-ball game, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids playing a baseball game. I think they have boys and girls, T-ball. And the parents are in the stands screaming like this is Game 7 of the Major League World Series. And it's the bottom of the ninth. It's crazy. It's dysfunctional. The kids aren't having fun. They play it because their parents want them to play it. And at that age, what they want is the love of their parents, so they do it, but then they get confused because why would their parents want them to do something that they don't want to do? So this gets them off on a bad track. And pickup games, the kids have fun. They really do. And if they don't want to play baseball, though, they don't have. They'll find something else that they have fun with. And this doesn't mean that kids don't need some discipline and do duties around the house and could just run free and wild. They do need to be outside and playing. I've seen some, I guess you call them memes, where it says, showed pictures of kids with garden hoses and bicycles and dogs running around having fun in the 60s and the 70s. And now kids are all in a room looking down at their phones. And so that's a long way the wrong way. Got to get back to that kind of play. Let kids play. Let them be able to play as long as they want. No, play is not a waste of time. Actual authentic play. It is necessary to have a well-functioning adult. And the kids get self-knowledge. They know who they are. They learn about the world, the wonder of the world, the beauty of the world. Let them be out in nature. Let them play pickup games in the backyard, shoot baskets, play football games in the backyard or at the playground or at the park. But these organized youth sports, it's about the adults. It's not about the kids. And people make a lot of money off of them too. I'm not against the free market, but they've got the Little League World Series on ESPN. I think that is nothing short of child abuse for these 12-year-old kids, 11 and 12-year-old kids. And another dirty little secret is very few kids who play in the Little League World Series make the major leagues. It's very few. And so they don't need to be involved in this stuff to get a head start. We got to get them a head start because if they don't get started when they're 2 years old playing baseball or playing tennis, they'll never be able to make it in this tough, cruel world. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I've talked about Calvin Pete before. He's an African-American, grew up poor, picking crops, and he got later into selling jewelry to migrant farm workers. And some of his friends in that business, they were going to play some golf at a local, probably municipal course, and they asked Cal if he wanted to go. He was 22 at the time. And no, I don't play golf. But they finally talked him into going. And then when he got there, they said, I'll just stay out in the car and sleep while you guys are in there. No, come on in. So he finally went on in and never had been on a golf course, never held a golf club in his hands. He was 22. And they gave him a golf club and he held it. He didn't plan on playing, but he just felt at one with it. And long story short, at age 22, and he had a broken arm too. He broke his arm as a kid. He fell out of a tree and they didn't have the money to take him to a doctor. So his arm was permanently bent or out of shape. And people who play golf know you got to keep the left arm straight. Well, he didn't. Well, he started hitting golf balls all day long, every day. and selling jewelry, I guess, in the evening. And long story short, he became a very good golfer, won 12 times on the PGA, won the 85 Players Championship. And that year, they had a Varden Trophy back then, and he won it. The guy who came in second place was a guy named Jack Nicklaus. So this idea that kids got to start real young is pathetic. It harms the kids. They're not having fun. And that's what we're going to talk about today. By the way, the second part of the book, I deal with all sorts of other issues related to young people, government schools, drugs, promiscuity, all these other things that are attacking kids these days from the evil left. And so it's on Amazon, Carrying Lawn Chairs. It's on the book section. You have to go to the book section. It last time I checked anyway, it just doesn't come up on a general browse, but it's Carrying Lawn Chairs. And, that's what I'm going to talk about. I have a friend who, he's a real good friend, I work with him actually, and he has coached his kids from a very young age all the way through high school age in sports, baseball mostly. And although I think he coaches basketball too. But he just told me out of the blue that he regrets when he was coaching his kids that they were always focused on the future. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. If you're ever going to be a high school baseball player or college or major leaguer, by the way, 75% of parents who put their kids in organized sports think their kids are going to be in the major leagues. Now, I'm not trying to douse water on anyone, but the percentage is minuscule. And but I don't want to squash any dreams either. But anyway, he regrets that they were always focused on the future and really tough on the kids, that they got if they're going to ever be any good in baseball, they got to be good right now and know how to field a ground ball, know how to swing level, know how to do all this. And the parents would agree usually. And but that's what I'm against. And that's why I'm for pickup games for kids 12 and under. Let them play pickup games. Don't tell them how to swing a bat. I mean, you might be able to help them out as a parent, but that shouldn't be the goal, to make them a better baseball player. They'll get better on their own if they want to. We talk about the Norway situation a lot. Norway, a country of 5 million people, dominates the Winter Olympics. Is it because they start their kids very early on skiing and other things? No. It's they let them play on their own until they're about 12, 13. And then they see some who are really have some natural ability and ask them if they want to pursue it. And then they have a program that they teach them and hone their skills and go from there. But they don't start very young and get these kids to being robots. They let them make their own way in the snow, and they have little ski jumps, jump off about 3 feet, and they skate, and the other winter sports. It's cross country skiing and things like that. But they don't force anyone. They let them play. And if these kids, the kids that don't become Winter Olympians, which is 99% of them or more, they realize that they had a fun childhood, playing outside in the snow and doing various things. So it's a win-win. And that's what I say. And it seems like society with parents, and it's tough to be a parent. And believe me, as I keep saying, I'm not a parental guru. I don't have all the answers. I probably don't have very many answers. And I can't think of anyone I totally agree with on everything. So people would disagree with it, some things. But I put these things out, and you can run with them however you wish. But I just think that parents are always so focused on the future, and it comes from a lack of self-confidence or self-worth on the parents' part, because they think, how could I possibly have a child that's going to be able to be any good, and they can't have the patience to just let the child play. Or parents with their kids go to the park, just kick a ball around, or just play in the present moment for fun and laugh, deep laughs in the outdoors, the fresh air. And that's the way to raise a healthy child. Whoa, they got to do homework and things like that. Well, yes, but even that gets carried away. Yes, kids have to know the basics and how to read, and I don't even know if they teach writing anymore, penmanship, but basic history, and they don't get that in school, public schools for sure, and math, and I have no problem with that. But the idea that, they're never going to make it unless they make all straight A's and all this other stuff, that's ridiculous. See, kids find their way. The late, great Charlie Kirk wrote a book on college, and it's a scam. college, yes, if you want to be an engineer, you're going to have to go to college. But even then, it's out of whack. Cost of colleges are way too much. I think it's a sin to get a college loan. I really do. And they say, well, it costs $300,000 if you want to be a dentist. Well, maybe you shouldn't be a dentist then. And because you're going to be paying it back for the rest of your life. It's crazy. And so there are other ways to make a living in a free market enterprise system. And it's not always about going to college and getting the best grades and all this other stuff. And these parents are so worried that they got to start them young, doing flashcards at age 2, or they're never going to get into Harvard. Well, that would be a break for them if they didn't get into Harvard or the Ivy League schools. Community colleges, go there. And then if you have a specific thing you're going to pursue, there's ways to do it. I've heard stories of ways that people go to college and they work and pay on their own. And it's crazy. It's out of whack. And fortunately, more and more are seeing this now. But my point is that parents should enjoy the present moment with their child. I'm not saying that they can't make plans or be thinking of things about the future, but they just should enjoy the present moment and be outside with them and playing with them and just laugh and know that the kids will know that their parents enjoy being with them. And you hear all these advisors say, you can't be friends with your kids. Well, yes, there has to be discipline. There has to be discipline as far as, yes, you have to be able to do things to get along in life, but you also need that playtime and the love of parents and the playtime on your own, the playtime with parents. Like I say, play pickup games. And dads would like to go out and play pickup games with their sons and their friends, and that's where they learn. They don't have to have the dads there. They can play on their own. But one thing, they won't have screaming parents in the stands yelling at every little move. I keep saying this too. I have a niece who has a son who plays hockey, and he's been playing, I think, since about 8. I think he's about 11 now, maybe 12. And I was a hockey game, I think he was about 9. I went there. And my niece, she's not really one of these, but they'd have the hockey and they'd have like a breakaway. And these parents would start standing up and screaming and stomping on these bleachers. And it was like the most important thing in their lives ever. And I think this is absolutely crazy because these kids get the message that they are loved and they are important because of how they perform on a piece of ice. And if they're having fun, and no, it's all about, it's a thing, well, we got to get these kids in a competitive mode if they're ever going to make it in this world. You make it in this world by knowing who you are. And no, I'm not going to say it's easy. It never is. There's a lot of false starts. There's a lot of failure. That's another thing. Failure is just like Thomas Edison said when he invented the light bulb. He failed about over 2,000 times, and he didn't look at it as failure. He says, I know 2,000 ways not to make the light bulb now. Well, failure is just that. It's just an experiment. I mean, it's not even a failure. Well, it's like you're getting closer and closer to the right way to do something. Matter of fact, failure is necessary. Let kids fail too. I've told the story about I have another niece that has a son, young boy now. I think he's about 6 now. But when he was 1 and just starting to walk, we had a family gathering up at my brother's house out in the country, and he has this thick grass in the back. He cuts the grass, but he cuts it kind of high. And this little boy wasn't very tall, and he was just starting to walk. So he would walk in this grass, and after every step, he would fall down. And he didn't think anything of it. He would just get up, take another step, and fall down. And then get up again, take another step, maybe 2, and fall down. And then there was a fence over there. He just knows he wanted to go to the fence. He doesn't know why. He just wants to go there. And then he makes it there, and then he walks back, and he falls down. And it's how life is. And you don't have to get all, and I'm pointing at myself, you don't have to get all upset about failure. That's another thing. In organized youth sports, you got all these fans and parents and coaches watching you. You're afraid to fail. That's another thing. They're afraid to make an error. And when you're playing pickup games, you don't want to make an error then, but it's more competitive, and you want to do it for that reason rather than you're not trying to fail. And so, again, I'm against organized youth sports for 12 and under. After that, if they want to play, that's fine. Or I've read stories about kids in their teens and have great memories of playing hockey or baseball or football, and I'm not against high school sports. It's crazy there too, but I'm not against it. And but we're a sports crazy country. I like sports, but it's out of control with the very young kids, and it's not good. And parents need to focus more on just enjoying the present with your kids and laughing with them. Don't always look at your kids, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with our little boy? He's just not, something's wrong with him. I don't know what we're going to do. We better take him to the doctor. Or it's crazy. It's crazy. You've got to learn he's a magnificent miracle of God, or she is. And this is the way you look at them. And then nurture who they are. Because every child has gifts and intelligences, and they are meant to be here on earth from God for a purpose, and there's nothing inferior about them. They say, well, what about retarded children? I know you're not supposed to say that word, but children who have learning handicaps and things like that. Well, they are gifts as well. They have gifts, and they're wonderful children too, and they have gifts they can offer to this world. And so don't look at your child ever as being inferior. If they're doing something wrong, well, gently maybe say, this isn't the right way to do it, or you don't want to be doing this. Now, they say, well, what if they're going out with bad people? Well, yeah, but that starts earlier. You have to get them in a situation where they don't want to go out with bad people. This is why I'm against government schools. And even private schools is the same way. All this peer pressure and all this stuff. Homeschooling, you don't have that. And that's the way schooling was until about the turn of the last century. That's kids learned a lot better in one-room schoolhouses than they knew in these monstrous campuses that a lot of times look like prisons. And so that's why I'm saying we've got the present moment. There's nothing wrong with playing the present moment. Your child won't get behind. They don't need to focus on getting ahead at age 5. And just let them enjoy the present moment. Let them play. Let them have true joy in life at a young age. Life is a challenge enough. Let them have joy in life. And when they do, they learn about who they are. And be a good example to them. And they find out the direction in life they can go. They won't get confused. Sometimes you have these kids that are great at everything. School, sports, and all that. But then they get out in the world, they're kind of confused because they really didn't learn exactly who they are. They were always trying to meet someone else's expectations. And I'm not necessarily against doing well in school and sports, but you do it because you want to do it. And I'm not against discipline. I'm not against parents telling the kids, well, we got to learn this English and stuff. We got to go to church. We got to do this. Because a lot of times if you would leave it to a child, they wouldn't do things that they have to learn to do. So this may sound all like a bit confusing and even contradictory, but it's not. That's what parenting is. It's a back and forth type of situation. And that's what it's really tough to raise children. And I'm not saying it's easy, but let them play. They've got to play is a necessity. It's let them go outside and play. Get them off the phones. Don't give them phones. Let them go outside and play, climb trees, ride bikes, spray each other with water. And that's where they really have fun. Let them have fun. And if they want to play sports, if they want to go play a pickup game, let them go do that. That's where they'll have fun. They got to enjoy it. Kids do not enjoy organized youth sports. They don't. It's about the parents and it's about the future. And we got to get away from that. We got to get into kids playing for the joy of playing as they grow up and learn other things, responsibilities as well. But they've got to play. And the parents should play with them in the present moment. Play with them games. Inside the house, play board games, or outside, kick a ball around, or just go for a walk, or ride bikes, or something together as a family, where you would just enjoy the present moment with them. And that's what we got to get back to. And rather than this pressure and all this that they do, we got to, start these kids young. No, you don't. It's crazy. It's abuse is what it is. It's child abuse. You're taking their childhood away from them. So we Thank you for joining us on Carrying Lawn Chairs, and we'll see you next time.